Sisters Cup continues! Battlefield of Eternity, another best of 3 series, and we find ourselves currently in the lower bracket as Team Gachi goes up against Team Voice. So again, we have a lot of pre-bans. 25 heroes were banned before all of this even started. It is a Polish tournament that adopted the META Madness system that I developed a couple of years ago. So we have pre-bans, and in addition to that, also a rule that you can only play every single hero once. Now, as we've already seen, it's going a little bit of back and forth with that system. We had some fairly down the line, more or less meta comps, especially in the earlier games of matches, but we also had some crazy picks happening, so the playoffs have been fun, and we're gonna see what else happens. Most of the players here are from Poland. I think like 95-98% are Polish players. We have the occasional ringer that is playing and hailing from another country, but all in all, most of the players here again are Polish. Napierdalaj. So let's see what we're gonna get here. Varian is actually getting banned right now. I was commenting a bit earlier in the tournament about how it seems that on map number 1, Varian is always a very popular pick, simply because sniper comp is so easy to execute, and on Battlefield of Eternity, which was the starting map quite a lot, that's even more so true because you oftentimes start drafting poke against the Immortal in the form of Li Ming or some other mage, and then obviously you can do a lot with a taunt that sets up a potential kill as well. We've seen Suljin a few times now too on this map, and this one is no exception. So we're starting for Team Gachi with Muradin and Suljin. So, time to troll a little bit over here. Mr. Armani. I like that Battlefield is our map. I've been saying that Battlefield and also Infernal Shrines seem to be the most popular maps in the entire tournament, and I'm totally okay with it. Infernal Shrines is probably the go-to map these days, and one of the most balanced ones that we have. And Battlefield of Eternity always gives you, I would say, fairly fast games that are usually quite action-packed because everything centers around the fight in the middle of the map. So we get Arthas and Sylvanas. That's actually one of the reasons why the tournament is called the Sisters Call, because one of the main sponsors of the tournament is a fan of Sylvanas and Tyrande, and hence it's named like this, the Sisters Cup. I actually have to look up the name because I wasn't quite sure what the name is of the sponsor, but I should probably put it out there too. Nevicia. Okay, so Nevicia, my bad. Yeah, because like I had it in the back of my head, but I think I haven't really talked about it too much. So Nevicia is one of the main sponsors for the prize pool of the tournament here, and apparently she's a fan of Sylvanas Tyrande, hence it's the Sisters Call. The first time that I saw the name, I was like, Sisters Call? Like, whose sister are we talking about?
Say hello to your sister for me.
Exactly. So, we get Artanis. Trash Tanis is in the game. Now, to be fair, with 25 heroes already banned, Artanis is obviously looking a lot more interesting and potentially also viable all of a sudden. You are running out of side laners. You probably still have a few options that might surpass him here, but it means automatically that he's a much better choice now than he would be in a game without pre-bans. I mean, duh. So, Artanis is in. That's also another source that they have on mortal damage that they can use. But what is the red team not going to do to react to that? I mean, they get Uther, and we have Thrall. So, double front line with Thrall Arthas and then Uther behind it. We could get another range damage for the team in blue. And honestly, with Uther on the other side and what's already being played here, they could even go Lunara. We've seen Lunara a few times already. Not necessarily a bad choice if you can apply more pressure to Uther. Could also go for the triple front line on the other hand, of course, if they want to tee up Suljin. But they go the Lunara route. So, Lunara is in, and that sets us up. Game number 1 in the best of 3 series, everybody. Team Gachi is going up against Team Voice. Without further ado, Battlefield of Eternity. The blue team on the left with Balor on Suljin. So once again, we have Suljin in action here on Battlefield of Eternity. We get Club Gachifan on Muradin as the main tank. Gamerboy is playing Lunara for the blue team. Paulinka on Deckard Cain, and Hammarine is playing Artanis. The opponents on the right side in red with Voice on Li Ming, the team captain. We got Mester Axe on Uther, Halcon on Arthas, Arion is playing Sylvanas in the first game of the best of 3 series, and we get Makto on Thrall. So, time to party. Let's see, which team is gonna take the lead in this one? I mean, at this point, we have all the way up at the top actually a 2-3 split with Artanis and Lunara sitting topside. And down at the bottom of the map, what's happening is essentially a 4-man push. Thrall is rotating towards the top, and now Lunara is also making adjustments. The main reason why the red team, or the blue team, was splitting like that is they anticipated a push from the red team with Sylvanas that might have happened at the top lane, because that's traditionally the lane where we only have a single hero for each team. So they set Lunara up there just in case, and once they realized that the push would happen through the bottom of the map, for the tower, they just simply rotated everybody else back down, and yeah, it's exactly that. So, with that said and done, we're now having Arian and Makto up at the top, so Sylvanas is still rotating around a little bit and doing her thing. Down at the bottom of the map, we are currently looking at, yeah, well, Artanis with amateur opponent. Lunara has also started to help out, and they want to go for a couple of the camps now that the 1 minute mark has passed. For Arthurs, we get Rhyme on level 1, and still decent poke from Li Ming in particular. I mean, we had some insane Li Ming games already. Just Zeomech comes to mind, of course, in one of the series that was played throughout the winner bracket, where he absolutely destroyed with one reset after another here in Battlefield of Eternity. So if Voice can mirror that in the game here, then they are in for an easy run. Li Ming can absolutely spiral out of control in a proper team fight if you are able to get those kills and the resets that follow. Suljin currently with some okay stacks early on. And in the Bone Slicer over here. Still a lot of aggression down at the bottom of the map. Top side, not too much should happen. I mean, Artanis and Thrall are gonna just go toe-to-toe here as much as they can. But it will be an interesting game once that the first objective is up, which isn't going to take too much longer. In 20 seconds, we're going to have it announced at the 3-minute mark. It's party time. That being said, Artanis is actually losing a lot of ground at the top, and that is pretty bad for him. He should probably hearth back here. They need to send somebody top and help out, because now that the red team is sitting topside, he is definitely on the endangered species list. And it would probably be a smart move to just hearth back and get your mana back, not tap the fountain, even if you have the cooldown. Save that for later. I think you should have done that already a few seconds earlier, just to save some time. But the red team has also left Lunara all the way down at the bottom of the map, so Gamer Boy could have used that opportunity to try and take that wall down a notch. Camp already taken, so that's the first thing that gets claimed here pretty quickly. And yeah, all the way up at the top, they're still trying to take the next wave out, get a bit more aggressive here. In addition to that, we also have them with a head start on the objective itself, so some nice Lunara poke with all of that acid that she's dropping. No quest for Thrall, by the way. On level 4, we're getting instead the Feral Resilience for him. Artanis with a bit of a swap. They're trying to go for a kill on Arthurs, and Arthurs is low. He's still able to get away. But we also have, besides that, still that push at the bottom of the map that somebody will have to react to soon. Oh, but they are actually quite lucky here. So the towers were already homing in on the Shaman. So yeah, that takes the camp out. If not for that, this could have been a rude awakening for them later on. But it seems like we're going to get a traditional race between the two teams. And it's an easy win initially for the blue team as they win the halftime show. And yeah, with 8 stacks on Suljin, we're also starting to work the numbers in a little bit. Red team is still defending, has taken position there right away. Li Ming is already on the right side, trying to take this one out. Mirrodin, Stormbolt, they're getting a bit more damage in, well done. Artanis can also jump on the objective, but they're trying to get the kill on Uther, and he's mega low and about to die. Uther able to get that heal in, but in comes Lunara, and that's the end of Mr. X. Uther, the first one to fall in the game. Mirrodin is able to jump out. Lunara still in and out, doing a bit more damage as Trash Tannis gets killed next. The objective is about to fall, though, and Lunara is going to secure it for the blue team. So it's still an even trade. Oh, actually, it still has a few hit points, 16 to be exact. So now they're coming in and taking it out. But yeah, a bit of meme potential here. 16 hit points left. Imagine just losing the objective because you thought you had it safe, move back, and then it still survives with 16 and your opponent takes the opportunity and claims it. But the push at the top will happen with both teams on level 7 talents. We also have the Vicious Assault now. We're getting Calamity for Li Ming and the Guardian of Ancient Kings for Uther. But they should at least be able to break through the wall here. The shield was not really too impressive, and everybody is, of course, defending with the exception of their side laner. Thrall is still sitting down, down at the bottom of the map, tight against Artanis. But, yeah, that's an easy defense here. A little bit of damage on the fort itself, but that's about it. So, nothing really to write home about. At least, oh, nice. Thrall gets the, oh my god. Follow-up was there immediately. He connects his quick wolf, the stun from Uther, and then it's a kill. So, Lunara is gone. And that allows them to push us a bit more aggressively. Now, Thrall rotating towards the top came, of course, at a bit of a price, with Artanis pushing the bottom of the map, taking the gate down and essentially one of the towers, that they should now easily be able to kill. We'll push at the top then again. Balor, yeah, also sitting pretty here, and is helping to defend against an opponent and is very eager to take down this wall. 16 stacks right now. So, working towards the next few quest rewards as we speak. We have down at the bottom of the map the red team completely alone. They're actually using Sylvanas now to make a play for the camp. Yeah, okay, Artanis is coming back from base in order to defend here. I was just about to say, if nobody is being sent down soon, then they are going to have an easy time taking that wall out. But even in the situation as is, Artanis is going to need a bit of help. Somebody needs to rotate down and assist him. That's apparently the job of Lunara. She's already been doing this quite a lot throughout the game, just rotating in and out as they need. And, well, they should be able to stop this without too many problems, especially since she also went Splintered Spear here. So there's a little bit more of an AoE move that she can use against a big wave like this. And Immortal number 2 is now coming up. So second Immortal of the game is starting to kick in. And we'll see how much damage they're going to do there. Currently, it's all about the camps again, but level 10 abilities are ready for both teams as we're starting up with the second objective. So we get Thornwood Vines, stay a while and listen. No surprises? Well, one maybe. Divine Storm on Uther is definitely not what I personally expected. We have Arthur's going away from Syndragosa, which is one of the most popular ults for him lately. But instead the extra sustain with the Army of the Dead. So this could get quite interesting here. Because Divine Storm, that is just extending your CC chain even further. Nice push at the bottom that Sylvanas has to now deal with. As this happens, Hammerrain is attempting to safeguard the top lane of the blue team. But yeah, the attack is coming. They're trying to focus on Suljin, no, Muradin, my bad. And he's jumping out. Suljin, also in some trouble, has not used the ult. Finally drops it and gets an easy kill on Li Ming. Balor is able to move out. Muradin dies too, but everybody on the red team is now mega low. They lost Li Ming, but Uther has his hands full trying to out-heal all of the damage that comes from Lunara and also from Artanis here. So that's once again a halftime show victory for Team Gachi. But they are, this time, way farther ahead on the objective. Lunara with 21,000 damage, and you can really tell that Uther is struggling to heal all of this out. If we are seeing all of that extra damage over time coming in, and then the rest of the team also doing some work, then it's becoming a problem for them to win the team fights if they last too long. If they can get quick kills, it's a different story. But right now, they're in a bit of trouble. They have to defend here, and it's not going to be all that easy. So, yeah, the poke is still ongoing, and Lunara in particular is just keeping the hits in, uses Thornwood Vines, and slowly but steadily whittles down the hit points on the Immortal. They let themselves get pushed back a bit, but Thrall is, yeah, going for that kill. Is a little bit ambitious, so is Sylvanas. Sylvanas is the first one to fall, and they couldn't take Lunara down. Now Artanis is trying to go in, but he's not the only one. Uther gets also murdered. The quest completed for Arthur's, but with only 3 on the map, this is a disaster for Team Boys. And they are losing Li Ming in a moment. The Stormbolt connected from Murden. Li Ming is dead, and that's 3 heroes down on the side of Team Boys. So yeah, job well done. They get the Immortal, but the chase was on. After Uther was killed, they wanted Li Ming to come in, and it's the Stormbolt that really sealed her fate. So Lunara is able to get the last few hits in. And now we are talking 5 kills to 3. We have a 1 level advantage, and more importantly, a talent that is kicking in any second. So yeah, great job in game number 1 by Team Gachi. They don't have it yet, but what they definitely will get is that fort at the bottom of the map and a significant lead over the opponent. Yeah, the defense is a little bit half-hearted too. Not that I blame them. Arthur's maybe a little bit too far out, honestly, now that I look at it, because he is going to be in trouble here. Well... They're not 100% able to take him out, but they were able to damage him already initially. The red team moves forward, tries to turn it. Avatar used by Mirrodin to survive. Jumps out, and Arthas eats that Stormbolt. That was a 5 versus 4, by the way. Artanis is still at the top. He was rotating down for a second, and the team apparently told him to just stay. The Immortal is nearly done anyways. And they're going to get another kill there, aren't they? Mirrodin goes in again. They want to go for Thrall. I have no idea how Thrall is still alive, honestly. I mean, his own self-sustain, and then in addition to that, the Uther heals. Insane that he didn't die. Now, Gamer Boy is trying to get away. They got the wall, but they're buying time for Artanis, and he is getting value at the top lane. Viable! 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 Woo! So, yeah, good value from Artanis here. Nicely done. That means that they haven't only taken down the fort at the bottom of the map, they were able to eliminate 2. Good for them. Nice move. Now, there is still that level advantage on top of it, too. We have 29,000 damage for Thrall, by the way. He's the top damage for the red team. And also the only one that hasn't died yet. I mean, his sustain in that last fight as he was literally put into a corner was incredible. They're trying to steal the camp here. A little cheeky move, I like it. But the red team is actually just going for the top side fort. And I like that quite a lot as well. They didn't really know where the opponent was. I don't think they saw them on the camp. But they just simply destroyed the fort, and that was a freebie for them. So the blue team was super happy that they were able to get up the camp, but then they lose the fort. Now we have Uther in trouble. Stay a while and get wrecked. Deckard Cain just proves to be a bit superior. Suljin completes one of the quest rewards, is hitting 30 now on the baseline. With Uther and Sylvanas gone, Arthas doesn't stand a chance here. So it's another triple kill. Artanis comes in, takes the final one out. At the bottom of the map, the keep is essentially taking damage at this point. And the red team is again trailing. Not only do they lose Li Ming, but they're also down a talent. It's level 16 for Team Gachi. The team is looking amazing here. They're looking really, really good. So, yeah, great move by them. And we'll see how much further they can go in all of this. I mean, it's a loser's bracket, right? So they're currently in a situation where they're literally fighting for survival. If you don't make it here, then you are out of the tournament. And taking the lead in the best of 3 series would be a big step forward, of course. So Team Voice will have to throw everything against them. And so far, it doesn't seem like they have a lot. They're 2 levels behind and a talent. Very difficult to force a fight around the objective. Unless you can insta-kill a hero. And who else to focus but Trash Tennis. So the side laner is already gone. The liability is eliminated. And now they go for Suljin, who pops his ult, gets stunned, wants at least the counter kill, doesn't get it. And they focus on Mirrodin next. But the Immortal is already taken. So 3 heroes are lost. But at least they were able to take the Immortal. So that's something. They lose some ground here, and I mean, it comes at a cost. Suljin dying, then Artanis dying before him, Mirrodin getting murdered a second later. But it's a massive shield on the Immortal, and we're now 14 minutes into the game. So they're gonna defend this. The Immortal is maybe a little bit of damage at the keep, but even that is a bit unlikely, but it will take down huge chunks of most likely the entire wall here. So it's not too bad. Denying the objective to Team Voice was also important, but that was a team fight that was very, very good for the red team and really helped them here. Tower is going to go down. I think they're going to get the gate too, but I would be a little bit surprised if that keep would really fall. Even the gate, not fall, take damage. Even the gate is not destroyed. So 16 versus 16. Those 3 kills were super important for Team Voice. Maybe a chance to slowly bring it back. Mirrodin. Where's the Stormbolt now? Okay, and Snare comes in first. Lots of damage on Arthas. And Arthas is about to go down here. If they can just get a little bit closer. I was waiting for an additional Stormbolt, but apparently was still on cooldown. He used his Army of the Dead already. Mirrodin looking for another Stormbolt. Hits it on Thrall, and Thrall dies. Arthas made it out. Thrall is gone, though. Lunara is still trying to connect some of the damage over time here, specifically against Li Ming. So they only walk away with a single kill. But that's still quite a lot. I mean, taking just that one kill is already putting them again into a numbers advantage where they can control the remaining mercenary camps on the map fairly easily. So now moving towards the top, taking this one out. I mean, it is reflected in the damage output too. You have Lunara at 55,000. Second highest in the game is then Suljin with 48,000. And then for the first time appearing on the red team side, we have Thrall with 40k. Roughly the same amount of damage that we're seeing from also Li Ming and from Sylvanas. So the three of them together, really the damage backbone of Team Boys. But objective number, I believe, 3 is now coming up. And this is where we are once again going to see those team fights. Catapults with some extra damage on the bot lane keep. So this is the first keep that's getting attacked here. Thrall is missing as they're going for Arthur's again. Nice moves to keep him alive. And Arthur's actually gets saved. He had to use his Army of the Dead again. But, I mean, again, he did not die. That's already half the battle here. Now the lead on the objective goes again to Team Gachi, but not a big one. And Muradin gets murdered. Yeah, those are exactly the moves that the red team has to make in order to get back into the game. Down here, still trying to apply more pressure on the keep, and it's by now down to 50% of its HP. But taking down the main tank on the side of Team Gachi really empowered the red team to maybe finally take another Immortal for themselves. And, yeah, run the show with it. Muradin is down for another 30 seconds, so that's quite a long time. Unless Team Gachi is willing to become a bit more aggressive on this. Yeah. Unless they're willing to commit to a potentially bad fight, they're gonna lose a lot here. So they did some damage. They had a few of the heroes move in. Now they just need to make sure that everybody moves out, but the Immortal is now taken. And that's a big shield. So the late game seems to be slowly flipping in favor of Team Boys. They are still behind in experience and kills, also in structures, but now they have a couple of opportunities here. Catapult is moving in again, will most likely unleash a shot or two, but only on the minion waves, not targeting the core. And with the defense in position, it at least allows the blue team also to try and stop this a little bit earlier. And they actually burn down that shield very, very quickly. Suljin is at 38 stacks. We're slowly getting there. Another Divine Storm, Sundering, and Muradin is dead again. You honestly can't even blame him. Howling Blast, Uther Stun, Divine Storm, Sundering, Wailing Arrow. I mean, they just absolutely crush Muradin, and he just can't do anything. Once that CC chain starts, if it is properly executed, you're basically taking your hands off the keyboard and you're just like, well, I guess that's not gonna happen, guys. I think I'm dead here. So a bit unfortunate for budget Gimli, but it is what it is. So we'll see if the next time he pops his avatar a bit earlier or not. But that's also something. The interrupts that we're getting over and over again from Team Boys are pretty difficult to deal with. And now the red team is in a position where they might even be able to take one of the keeps out. So yeah, they are pressuring. They are trying to extend the advantage even further. 20 now available on both sides, but this keep is a goner. So after being massively ahead in structures, Team Gachi is now falling behind. They still have the lead in kills, but that gives them a warm handshake, and that's about it. So they won't be able to win anything here with just that. They can land, I mean, for the Wildlands is now ready, so could use that in the team fight. There's a lot of really nice tools that we are getting for both the teams. Redemption and Uther, for example, allows him to play so much more aggressive and then get in the ghost form, even more heals out. But in comes again the team around Gachi himself, trying to move in to take one of the heroes out. The fight turns, though, on Trash Tannis, who gets murdered, but look at Lunara. Big damage from her. And Suljin then with a follow-up. That's Arthur's gone, Uther gone. After Artanis dies, 2 more get eliminated. And the fight is still not over. They're trying to go for Li Ming. Boys is in trouble. Now Uther, after he came back, gets targeted. And I honestly would have loved to see them pursue this a bit more and take Uther down again. I definitely think that was in the cards. So, yeah. I definitely think they had a shot to take him out. But they are instead going for the objective. They got the upper hand here. And to be fair, with them already going for the halftime show, let's not forget that Artanis is going to be back very soon. Same true for Arthas, of course. 13 kills to 9. Yeah, but Li Ming could have fallen. Li Ming or Uther, killing him again was definitely an option. They didn't go for it. Now they instead have to try and defend, but they've already done their own initial damage. So, yeah, they're doing pretty okay here too. Well, who takes the next one? And this could be also the last Immortal. Let's not forget about that, depending on who takes it. And how well they can push it, also how much we have on the shield. The halftime show victory is already an easy one. Yeah, some catapults down at the bottom of the map. Artanis is taking that out quickly. Might have to use his ult. He has one charge currently on his ult. Might have to use that in order to stop them taking the Immortal here. Because now the red team is trying to counterplay this. Making the move for the blue team's Immortal. And they're getting a lot of damage done here. Way more and way faster than I expected them to. Artanis is defending at the bottom of the... at the top of the map. Here comes Thundering again. And the end of Zul'jin. No chance for him to get his ult out. And I gotta say, Team Voice has some incredible synergy. When they're coming in and doing their damage, they are syncing those CC tools up. It is an absolute pleasure. Talking about pleasure, look at the damage that we're getting from Lunara here. She has so much AoE damage that she just brings in. Nearly kills Sylvanas here. Instead, they're focusing on Arthas. Arthas is gone. She gets hold of Sylvanas as well. Takes her out. In comes Sundering. And that's the end of Lunara. But they're getting a counter kill on Li Ming too. It's a bloodbath. It is an absolute bloodbath here. Massive fighting going on. Lunara going deep for the kill. 107,000 damage for her right now. But yep, that Sundering from Thrall, as many times before, sealed the deal. And Thrall is still the top damage dealer on the red team, together with Li Ming, who has identical numbers to him. But yep, the two of them are running the show. Now, we still are lacking that one keep at the bottom of the map for Team Gachi. But here comes that Immortal. The team was trying to delay this a bit longer. Li Ming is down for 27 seconds. She should be back in time for the defense. This is a pretty spicy first game. The only one that hasn't died yet is the old man. The old geezer. Boomer boy Deckard Cain is still fully alive. Has never died yet. Oh, where's my pudding? Yeah, being in that old people's home apparently also comes with a couple of safety tools. So he somehow made it out. Good for him.
Back in my day, we were fighting against real players. When towers had ammunition.
Oh, maybe now. They're trying to go for him. Deckard Cain gets attacked and is dead. The caster curse has struck again. Both of the supports are gone though. They go for Thrall and take him out. Redemption is going to bring Uther back. He's trying to heal Arthas, who gets flipped around again and should receive... I mean, come on, Muradin. A jump, a Stormbolt, and that is going to be the end of Arthas. The slow is just a little bit too good. That's now 19 kills to 12. The keep is already destroyed by the Immortal, and this should be game. So very well done here. The team fight initially forced behind the Immortal by Team Voice, but now they've lost two of their key heroes, and they might lose more too. They're trying to take the Immortal out. It's not happening. This is game. The first map in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket of the tournament goes to Team Gachi. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Game number 2, Dragonshy everybody. Team Gachi with a 1-0 lead in our best of 3 series in the losers bracket of the Sisters Call playoffs. Now, the blue team had a pretty solid performance here on our first map, and Team Voice will have to step it up if they're trying to change things. The interesting part is that the losing team, the red team, has actually decided they are forcing the map and don't want to go for first pick, first ban. So, we'll see how exactly they're going to play this now. If they have a strategy for Dragonshire, and that's the reason why they're trying to play it here, then hey, by all means, I want to see it. but by now we have 10 more heroes that are unavailable because they've been played in game number 1. We have Garrosh banned out, and our second ban is Varian. And keep in mind, with every single map that is now advancing, it means that 10 more heroes are banned out. So the heroes that are banned in the draft itself become higher value with every single map that passes. So if at some point you feel that you need to ban out someone else and let someone like Varian, for example, be open, your opponent will very quickly pick that hero up. Overall, we are now at 35 heroes banned, plus the 6 that are getting banned in the draft. So it's a pretty fair chunk. But since you can see, as you can see from the bans here, there are still quite a few that are getting eliminated. So Junkrat gets the axe too. Could definitely be a moment. Heroes that I'm still watching out for. Medivh is open. Cho'Gall is another one that you can play. And the more heroes get eliminated, the better someone like Cho'Gall, for example, becomes. I mean, Cho'Gall gets already played in the Murky Cup and other tournaments that we have. If you're now banning out a huge amount of heroes that could be used as a counter against him, Greymane, for example, is a pre-ban, then you can go into a character like Cho'Gall. You always have to think a bit about which map really is is a good map for that. Dragonshire has the downside that, of course, you need to control 3 points on the map in order to get the objective. That's a little bit more difficult to do if you have only 4 bodies on the map. They go for Jimmy very early on, so Reyna as a first pick together with Rhaegar. And yeah, if not for that Rhaegar pick, when I see Jimmy on a map like this, I think backdoor. But that's a bit unlikely. They clearly want to play with an auto attacker here, and of course the pre-bans have taken a lot of those away. But we get Oriel, and I suppose we technically could, and Zagara, we technically could still get Cho'Gall for them, just saying. Now that Oriel has been picked, it would not shock me at all if the red team decided to ban Cho'Gall out. It might not be the most typical hero to take on Dragonshire, but you can still play him here. And since they have a double pick available later and just used Oriel, they could use ETC as a side laner, Zagara as the pusher, so I would ban out Cho'Gall if I'm on the red team. And they don't! So, I don't know if Team Gachi has played Cho'Gall previously, but my alarm bells are already ringing, and yeah, my spider senses are tingling a lot when I see that. Now, are they going to do it? Yes, no? Different question. There is a chance that Team Voice is going to pick him up too. They also have a double pick still available, and I suppose that's what Team Gachi is currently thinking about. They ban Mal'Ganis. And of course, there's also the chance that nobody cares about Cho'Gall at this point. It is game number 2 in the best of 3 series. But we've already seen Cho'Gall games over the course of the tournament, of course. And we've seen a lot of bans against Cho'Gall too. So, yeah, just saying. But first moment of truth. There's 2 opportunities. And they go Mei and Alarak. So that means there's also not a lot of damage against Cho'Gall. With Zagara taken, by the way, that takes one of the tools away. Technically, you still have Tychus, but I think that Team Voice is not going to go Tychus. I suppose they also have the opportunity to go Mal'Sahel. But if anybody takes Cho'Gall, it's going to be the blue team now. They have... I think this is not a bad draft if they go for it. The Cho'Gall games that we have seen so far were pretty epic. Murky Cup too, of course. But they go Ophia and they go Tyrael, so we're not going to get any Cho'Gall shenanigans, at least in game number 2. If it comes to a third map, we might see it there. But it is a mage plus Tyrael, so Tyrael as the main tank, ETC as the side laner, and Sonya to make it a triple front line for Team Voice. So, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2 here in the losers bracket. We have Dragonshire coming up. Also, you don't just have 5 matches of the same heroes, I see. Yes, the whole idea behind the you ban the hero out is that you don't have the same heroes played over and over and over and over again. That's the main reason why I implemented that back then. So initially I started with Meta Madness just having pre-bans. Then we had Meta Madness with pre-bans, plus the heroes that were banned in draft were banned for the series. But that just resulted in a lot of heroes mirrored. And then we introduced the you can only play once rule. And once that was introduced, I actually started to use it in normal tournaments as well, because it just turned out that it made the games way more interesting. And it didn't have the biggest impact on the meta either, so it didn't make the... It didn't dilute the competition too much, you know, and it was actually a really fun thing. And again, this is the concept that League of Legends also took over for some of their tournaments.
Prepare for combat.
Second game, it's match point. The blue team with Balor on Zagara. We got Polinka on Oriel. Tyrael is played by Club Gachi fan Art and Restoration on level 1, so there's a chance that we're gonna get some pretty nice judgment plays later on. We got Gamer Boy on Afia and Hammerine on ETC. With the red team, they need to win 2 in a row now. We're playing Voice on Reyna. Mr. X on Rhaegar. We got Makto on Mei with Ice Storm here. Plus Halcon on Sonya, and Arian is playing Alarak. So, who's taking it? Stacks for Reyna. Well, Jimmy will have to go for a lot of if he is trying to get mad value out of this. It's a bit of a surprise to me, honestly, considering how many tools they have for slows and stuns. I would have assumed that Ace in the Hole would be the better choice for them here. Ace in the Hole, Ace of Spades? Ace of Spades, right? For some reason, I always mix those two up. It's actually a little bit crazy. It's Ace in the Hole. I'm pretty certain. So, yeah. But, yeah, as is, we're now looking at just a bit of one-on-one action at the top lane and then a typical rotation between lanes, which is currently a bit dominated by Team Gachi. So they have that pretty nice situation going on for them where they can go, or they have so far at least gone for the direct route, whereas the red team is trying to play this a little bit safer, so they're trailing behind slightly. Talking about safe, Ofia is now doing the same thing. Trying to go to the bot lane unmolested, whereas the rest of the team was first checking if they can go for one of the mercenary camps, which they're now doing. So we're getting the Siege Giants locked in for them. Currently Zagara is the hope generator for Oriel. And over at the top right, Sonya with a little bit of spin to win action. And first of all, Furious Blow on level 1 for her. Jimmy with 4 stacks right now. That permanent damage increase is quite nice if it goes into the late game and if you have a very brawly game. But it's honestly more a talent that in some public games is probably better for you. They're actually invading this. They're committing too, damn. Okay. Yeah, half the team is moving in. I'm not quite sure if they're risking too much. And Tyrael is already gone, but the explosion could be a problem. Might even get an explosion kill. Sonya survives, but Alarak doesn't, and they get their camp. Oh my god. They trade kills, but they take the mercenary camp. Not bad. When I saw them commit and the red team rotating over as well, I really thought that Team Boys would just clap them around a little bit. Go for the big slaps and, yeah, take this with ease, but not so much. I think there was even a chance for Team Gachi to get another kill. But that was nice. That was actually pretty sweet. So, yeah, job well done. By now, we're also looking at the first objective, possibly. All depends on whether or not they can take control over the middle, but they have full control over the 2 shrines for now. And that applies additional pressure to Team Boys that they are not really too happy with. So, yeah. Jimmy with 7 stacks now on level 1, went Behemoth armor as well. And is still firing away here. So Voice is currently capitalizing on the fact that there's a lot of small skirmishes between the teams. But it's a Dragonite. Yeah, they take the DK. 3 minutes into the game and Dragonite number 1 is taken. And they're playing around the Dragon's Breath, and I like it. They're not just YOLOing into the towers, but they are instead just rotating around here and are starting to take the minions out, are starting to get for the towers, play around the cooldown. So try and maximize the effect of the first objective. Obviously the first Dragonite isn't really the strongest or anything, but just getting that extra damage in is already a bit of a win. So yeah, sitting at the side here, Jimmy is taking advantage of this by getting additional stacks for himself. But that's now 1 tower down. Yeah, a little bit of a kick. They were also able to get some damage in at the bottom wall. So not too bad. Some easy, nice damage. Zagara then dropping out. Again, super early Dragonite, but some pretty nice moves made. The lead in the experience has been extended as you would have expected. So that's what they're getting here. And down at the bottom of the map, also now playing it out with Oriel, still on her little happy cloud. As long as she has hope, she's happy. And she's getting quite a bit of it. 15 stacks for Jimmy. It's not crazy, but again, like, he is slowly getting there. We also have with level 7 the Poisoned Spear. And, well, at the same time, a couple of stacks on the Ardent Restoration for Jimmy. We need some hero that has a Poison Apple skill. I don't know who that could be. Do we need to create a new hero, or do we just replace an ability on an existing hero? What do you guys think? Poison apple. I'm not quite sure how it works if you just throw apples at people that are poisoned. Which would be hilarious in my opinion. You just throw apples around and they are poisoned. And so they do some poison damage. Or you have to do something where you actually have to walk up to a stunned hero and then apply the poisoned apple. I don't know if it just does damage or if it's just some curse that gets applied to you. But in my head, I don't know why. I saw Poison Spear, it triggered Poison Apple in my head, and now I'm thinking about characters that could throw Poison Apple at people. If they would introduce some Disney princess characters over here, we could essentially go for Snow White, I suppose. But yeah, it would be fun as hell. Anyways, a little bit of a tangent here, as it seems that Ophia is going to die. At least she's in trouble. But she actually moves with ease out of that little trouble or problem that she had there. Judgment is in. I like that. They're gonna get judged all over. And we have Aegis, we got the Jaws, and we get the Maw. So if you land a great Maw here, you can do a lot. Jump on them with Stage Dive, get the Crushing Jaws in, and use those. So if Zagara is able to use one of those choke points to their advantage, that follow-up could be absolutely brutal. So, yeah, that's on the other side. We're now getting the Deadly Charge, and we got the Snowball. Going full avalanche on us here. 19 stacks now for Jimmy. We're 6 minutes in, you know. If that continues, maybe the late game could be quite nice. Oh, nice jump. Really well done. I would have loved the judgment on the same character. I think that could have netted them a kill. Now Tyrell is in trouble. Gets pushed away. May is already dead. Seems like Rega is also dying. And Tyrael has fallen too. So it's a 2-for-1 trade for them now. But I think this could have been played even a little bit better if they used Judgment on Alarak in order to get that hit. But job well done. I mean, they're getting May first. Isolated Tear with Maw. And then they go for Rega. So it's 2 heroes down, and since the entire fight played out in front of the bottom fort, that took some damage too. But, yeah. Seems like Sonya is also in some trouble here. That slide went nowhere. Nice slide, ETC. Right between the two factions. So there was like a double slide that he could have applied, or stun on a single, and he didn't hit either of those. So went straight for the middle, didn't connect with anybody, just simply said hi at the bot lane real quickly as I like, hey boys, how's it looking? And then moves back up towards the top. So yeah, topside 4, talk about the top, has actually been taken out. So yeah, that's gone. Just as we double checked on the fort at the top, Sonya leapt in, but there wasn't really any follow-up that was noticeable. So no kill for them. 23 stacks for Jimmy, 17 on the Behemoth armor. I gotta say, he's not doing too bad. This isn't insane, but he hasn't died yet. And he's doing pretty okay here. Sadism stacks are at 113. Nobody's stealing with this still. I mean, most of the camp is now gone, but we have catapults now moving into. And they are getting control again. With ETC, you also have a global, of course. You have that stage dive there. Excuse me. What did I just watch? What am I watching? What just happened?
Nope.
Did I miss a hero? So Jimmy just said, it is ult time. Arrgh. Turns into a pirate and just hits it for a mercenary camp. Okay, kinda unexpected. Apparently trying to rush it here. I think other heroes might have been a little bit better in that instance. But now it's the fight over the next Dragon Knight. So, Judgment on May. She gets slapped around a bit by Ophia. And, yep, that's the Frost Lady gone. So, May is gone. They try to go for a counter kill, and, well, they get it. Ophia's gone, but the Dragon Knight has been taken. Rega gets wrecked, and we got a leap. A triple stun leap from Sonya. Bit of a kick against Jimmy. But they have the Dragon Knight, and they also have the superior numbers on the map now. That allows them to take another fort out. Easy peasy. Top side is still getting pushed a little bit. Another hit against Jimmy, who's now at 28 stacks. And does not have his Hyperion back, just saying. And down at the bottom of the map, they are going for the next and so far final fort. So, yeah. Even if they don't get that, it will be low enough that they can pick it up later. So with every single Dragonite, they get at least some structural value. Zagara will be fine if she drops out of the Dragon Knight. No problem at all with the rest of the team coming to her assistance. It's an interesting one for sure. Jimmy is at 17,000 damage, which isn't really crazy. We got 26,000 for Zagara and 20,000 for Anubarak. But as the game continues, Jimmy could very well get to a point where he gets some serious oomph out of those auto attacks. They are only trailing by 1 level. It's more the structures that they've lost that are posing a problem. The catapults on lane that will apply more pressure, and in addition to that, of course, also the sheer fact that the passive experience is increasing. Rhaegar with an average of 60 APM. That is a bit of a record. So yeah, 60 APM average Rhaegar. Oriel, the 2 healers. Healers are doing no work. Look at this. Yeah, Judgment, and bye-bye. That's the end of Sonya. Bye-bye. 6 kills to 3, and nearly level 16. The big chomp. At least a bit of a connect. Where's that slide from ETC? Does he get the cooldown back in time? Doesn't seem like he will. Objective is currently not up, but they can push for structures. Either the fort at the bottom of the map, especially with them now having level 16 available, or just simply try and go for a keep wall, but it seems like it is going to be the fort. Lots of sadism, by the way, for Anubarak. He's sitting at 132 now, so he can really get big damage out as the game continues. And Team Gachi has to be a bit cautious. Anubarak with some good combos at the right moment, maybe after a lead that we're getting from Sonya, if they can sync that up, they could do a lot with this. So yeah, they gotta be mega careful that they're not taking some fight where they're a little bit too confident and are then getting absolutely crushed. So the bottom fort nearly dead. The archers are not going to be able to take it, but if anybody sneezes on that thing, it is gone. Yeah, that one is definitely held together by a little bit of chewing gum. It was one of those houses made in America. Does that... Well... Okay, ETC. That's a superhero landing. Takes the structures out too. That though was not well coordinated. I like the idea. They get the maw. Unfortunately, Ophir already used her ult, but that was a pretty cool idea of what they were trying to do. It just didn't work out. And now we have Tyrael dead. Artanis makes it. No, he doesn't. No, he dies. So much sadism lost now. And another double kill. Wow, 4 heroes dead on the side of the blue team. Okay, that one was a bit wild. Anubarak had 149 sadism, and then he just barely dies to the damage over time there. And of course, it's a total bloodbath against the blue team. But with Anubarak falling in that situation, that hurt them a lot. He was the top damage dealer for them at the time. Jimmy is probably going to take over now soon. But yeah, if Anubarak would have been able to just maintain his numbers and survive through it, that would have been huge. 7 kills to 7. And I don't know, but we might actually see a bit of a comeback here. ETC is moving down to the bottom of the map now, with the campus that's now being claimed. And with Mei moving in, that's a Dragonite. So 13 minutes in, they're getting their first DK. And that's just a question of how much damage they can do right now. Jimmy is at 27,000 damage as well. He is closing the gap between himself and Anubarak. And the more stacks he gets, the better. Sonya with a leap that missed. Couldn't do anything. They're still forcing them a bit farther back though, trying to go for the fort, which is so far not really working out. The Dragon Knight is already moving down to the bottom of the map. Yeah, deadly charge. Not too much happening here either. Nice hit. Anubarak is dead. Jimmy is dead for the first time. They get an easy double kill. That was well done. And now another jump from ETC. Does he have the slide cooldown? Can they go for Rhaegar? Yep, there it is. Chomping away. Sonya is dead. Rhaegar is dead. Just as it seemed that Team Voice is able to bring this game back. They are losing essentially the entire team. Only Mei survives. The deadly charge you can see here from Anubarak was the first thing that already failed a little bit. And then they're losing 2 of their heroes immediately. The cleanup afterwards allows Team Gachi to take full control. Judgment is in, forcing them back a little bit further. But it's all about the keep at the bottom of the map, and they're going to get this on 100%. Go for the core. Not sure if they should. Maybe just go for the keep in the middle. 8 seconds for Alarak, 8 for Jimmy, but they can definitely do a lot of damage. Can they really end the game here? That is still a bit of a question mark. They might be able to pull it off, but they also should be willing to walk away if it turns out that it's a bit too tricky with 3 heroes being available here. But the core's at 40%. That has to be it, right? It's a 2-0 victory. They take it. Team Gachi moving on to the next round of the tournament here at the Sisters Call Cup. GG.